What is good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you don't know who I am, my name is Autumn and I'm here to help you assume the position of who it is that you want to be. So on today's video, you guys, we have a juicy video. Okay, so we're actually going to be going over a success story from a client that I have. So she scheduled her first session with me about 2 weeks ago, and then now she has her result. And so I'm so excited to really get into the meat and potatoes of this, because what she has realized about herself is everything that we talk about on this channel, and I'm just excited for her and for her outcome. All right, so if you've seen the title, then you saw that she casually ran into her SP at the gas station, just casually. So you guys, I'm gonna actually go over it. I have my laptop here and I'm gonna kind of skim over the email a little bit, and then we're gonna talk about her success story. All right, so she said that she's been with her SP for 3 years on and off, and they've been going through a lot together, you know, and she said that she really wanted to make it work with him, but they were on and off for 3 years. Like, it wasn't consistent. Like she was saying in the email, they may have been consistent for about a year in general, but for the last 2 years they've been on and off. You know, just the trials, the ups and downs of being in a relationship that is on and off. The person who is in the relationship who is on and off has their own specific set of circumstances that they go through, right? We all have been there if we've been on and off with our SPs. But she said that she was really devastated because the last time they got in an argument, he told her that he did not want to be back together and he wanted her to leave him alone. And she said that she was devastated, and she found herself doing every manifestation technique she could think of to win him back. She said, I affirmed 10,000 times a day. I visualized. I tried to stay off of his social media. But then I really lost it when I ran into his friend at the gym, and when I asked about him, he told me that he's been going on dates with another girl. I was devastated. I lost all confidence in myself and in manifestation. I feel as if I'm spiraling and I don't know what to do. I do want to be with him, but I can't see how that would happen now. You know, the email was really long and she gave a lot of like information for just the past 3 years. And, you know, I just really wanted to sum it up for you guys, because this little paragraph pretty much says who she is being as a person as she was in that type of condition. So I always ask my clients, who are you being? Because who you are being now is where you are acting from, right? So this story belongs to someone who feels as if they have to do things in order to be worthy of a relationship, has to do things to win him back. So she's already focused on being identified with the circumstance, and so she really wants to do things in order to get this person back, right? And so she said she was doing the techniques thinking that it's the technique. So she said she was visualizing, she was affirming, she was doing it so many times that she just felt like she gave up on manifestation. And that is the identity of someone who thinks that it is the techniques that gets them the manifestation, not who they're being. And then she said she lost confidence in herself and in the manifestation. So all of this is being identified with the 3D circumstance. No matter what the 3D circumstance is, you guys, this is not just for SP, but you have to look at where you are in the situation and who you are being. Are you acting from the little, you know, you that you feel like you have to do everything, or are you acting from the source of it all? Because the source realizes that they are one with the all, and they know that this little minuscule thing, that it may not seem minuscule in that moment because we are identified with who we are being. We're so attached to who we are being in that situation and in that relationship, and that we bought into that story. We bought into the story of like, we have to do something to win them back. We have to do something to like get them, you know, to come back to us. And it's not necessarily about the circumstance or even the third party for that matter, or even him. You know, I told her it's not about the breakup, the techniques, him possibly dating someone else, or even him for that matter. It is about who you are trying to hang on to. Now, like we talked about in my last video, the last video I did, we talked about the art of dying, and I will link that above. But in the art of dying, you have to see when you come up to this circumstance, or you feel like you've been trying and trying and trying, and then not allowing yourself to be or lean into who it is that you want to be. Remember, when Neville Goddard says, when I am aware of my limitations and things that I can't change, then I know I must die to the state. So in this instance, I let her know, you really, it's not even about him. It's about who you are holding on to. You're still holding on to an identity that says that you have to be worthy, that you have to do something, that the way is outside of you and not within you. So you're acting from someone who is the seeker but will never find, instead of being the source who knows within that all possibilities exist. So this is about putting yourself into the position of being the head of your life, that you are the only decider. You are pure love, pure consciousness, pure awareness. When you are operating as a separate entity, you yourself can do nothing but struggle. But with consciousness, awareness, God, all things are possible. Like Abraham Hicks says, when you connect yourself up to the vortex, you are in the perfect position. So once again, I was asking her, where are you looking from? Are you looking through the eyes of lack, or are you looking through the eyes of God, of awareness, of being conscious that this is just a story of an individual who is not allowing themselves to express the fullness of who they are? And then when you think about that, it neutralizes the situation, and then you're like, okay, I take responsibility inside myself for what I assume to be true about myself instead of what I assume to be true of others, because it's not about the SP, it's not about the potential third party, it's not about doing something to get this person back. It's about the focus being on you, that your reality is like, look, I'm trying to show you that this does not work for me anymore. Right? So you want to move over into the full awareness that you have created this. And once you know that you have created this and chose this, because creation is finished, you get to choose again when you assume the position of being the source in your life, and not think about it as you have to do something outside of you in order to get a loving relationship, or you have to work at something to win someone over. That is already operating from a place of lack. Right? So I asked her, who did she want to be? Like, what is it, the ideal version of you, the conscious version of you, the one who knows all things, who has all things within them? Who is that you want to be? And then she said that she wanted to be chosen, loved, respected, considered feelings, wanted him to consider her feelings, wanted him to go above and beyond for her. And I was like, that is perfect. Because what you are describing is not the relationship that you want with him. You're describing the relationship that you want with you. You're describing that you really want to see yourself in this position. And the only way that you see yourself in this position is if you assume now that you are already in this position, and move from knowing that this is what it is now, that we don't have to fix what happened with the SP or the third party or anything like that. You leave the world alone, like Neville Goddard says, leave the world alone, and then assume that you are your ideal person now. And then you move from that. So then you drop the timing, you drop all of these things, because linear time does not exist. It is to the degree that you believe and you persist in who it is that you want to be, the person that is loved, chosen, cherished, sought after, really made to, the person that you want to really go above and beyond. Then if you move from that point of view like it already is, so your world has no choice but to conform around that, right? So we left it at there, and then she said she understood, she was going to do her best to work on it, right? And so yesterday I was emailing another client who was sharing with me some of her goals, and I happened to look up and I seen a new email come in, and then I started laughing because I was looking at the title, and it says, I casually ran into my SP at the gas station by being the source of it all. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I have to read this. And so the email says, Autumn, I just couldn't wait to email and get another session. It really worked, all of it. This past Thursday, I had the taste for a blue raspberry icy, and I decided I was going to get one at the store. I felt the need to go to a different gas station than the one I normally go to. I went in, and as I was filling up my icy, I heard my name called by a familiar voice. I turned and saw my ex walking over from the cash register smiling. Before I could even speak, he apologized. He said he didn't mean anything he said when he broke up with me, and that he's been hoping at some point he would get the courage to message me or call me to ask me out on a date at my favorite place so we can talk about the next steps in our relationship. I was stunned. And then she puts the word gobsmacked. I said, my girl was too stunned to speak. She was literally too stunned to speak. And I was too stunned when I read it too. And she said, I didn't think he was even thinking about the next steps in our relationship. The only thing I could do was say, sure. I know now that I am the cause of it all. My life has changed drastically within these 2 weeks. In these past 2 weeks, I've only been focusing on myself from the highest point I could think of. In the morning, I say, I am God. I'm the only one who gets to decide. And then I went on about my life. It seemed to happen so fast. And the first thing I did was I stopped wondering if I had to be more than what I already was, and that I didn't need to change something about myself to get him back, or for anything for that matter. I just assumed that it was done and that we were together. Now, this is the part that really changed everything for her, this part here. Look at what she really did. She says, I also assumed that I am my ideal physically and dialed in on a new fitness goal that I have. I started taking cycling classes on top of going to the gym and have met some really cool girls from the studio. We are going out to brunch this weekend. I did have some days where I felt myself spiraling out of control, and I used the statement you told me I could say when I'm in a spiral. And this is the tip that I gave you guys. I gave you guys this tip before. And she said, I told myself, no. Thank you for showing me I no longer live in that reality. So that's what she would say whenever she felt like she would spiral or she felt like the old was still coming up. She would say, no, thank you for showing me I no longer live in that reality. It really transformed the way that I felt about the old version of me. I felt like I was loving the me who didn't know her worth instead of condemning her. Y'all, when I read that, I almost fell out, because that's what it is about. When we see circumstances that we don't like, you guys, instead of realizing that they are there to help us ascend and to become more aware of who it is that we already are, or to just assume the position of being who it is that we really want to be. And we get so lost in these stories, and we make stories up around certain circumstances instead of saying, how can this serve me? How does this serve me? And like we talked about in a previous video, if you reject one thing, then you reject God. You reject the part of yourself that is the source of all of it. And so I love that she said that about herself, because she knew that she was worthy regardless, but that version of her did not know. But now that she can look back and see, like connect the dots looking back, she could see that she was not who she was. She was not the person that she truly wanted to be. And she realizes in the relationship, she was not the person showing up as the person that she wanted to be. And so instead of condemning her old version, she welcomed it in. She welcomed all the circumstances, even to her going and focusing on something else. By focusing on a fitness goal that she has now expanded herself magnetically to other people, to other opportunities, to friends, to abundance and love, more than just this specific person. Right? So it's not about her holding on to anything from the past or waiting for things to change. This is about completely abandoning that old version of yourself and focusing on the new person who has a completely different set of circumstances, who has a completely different past. The person who was already chosen, loved, adored, considered, all that stuff, has never experienced what the old version of her experienced, you guys. This is what I want you guys to see. All right. And then she said, I believe it happened fast because I stopped waiting on him to change and looked at who really needed my attention. It was me all along. I haven't even gave attention to the potential third party because I know that they don't exist in my world. Now he's texting me nonstop about how he's thinking about me, and whenever I'm in cycling class or working and don't respond right away, he double texts, which he never did before. So you see how the roles switch in your life when you put the attention back on yourself, when you send that person or that situation or even that old version of yourself and everything that came in it off with love. You see how it just dissolves back into the quantum possibilities, and all you're left with is the awareness that you are the source of all of it. All right. And so she said after that, I know we are on our way to marriage, and it has all happened effortlessly right before my eyes. I realized it's not about the technique, but who I am being when I assume. Like we talked about, you guys, are you looking from the version of yourself who is in lack, or are you looking for the version of yourself who is the source, who is the awareness, who knows all of it, who knows that this little circumstance is only one little teeny tiny drop in the ocean, a drop in any possibility that could happen, that you're free to choose again when you know that you are the source of it, you guys. That's amazing. All right. And she says, thank you so much for your guidance. I can't believe your sessions are affordable. I can't wait to continue with you. Please share this anonymously with our community. I really just want to share the good news with everybody. It truly works. Listen, it does work, and I am so happy for you if you're watching this video. My mouth was like dropped open the whole time, you guys, because this is someone who really gets it now. This is someone who realizes when they assume the position and take the responsibility in themselves for where they are thinking, immediately did not take long at all. And all this happened within 2 weeks, you guys. You know, not that linear time matters, because it doesn't, but it is to the degree that you believe, and to the degree where you are looking, and to the degree where you are acting and solidifying your new experience, you guys. Always acting from that new experience, never looking at that old situation and thinking that, you know, it's something that you have to fix. You leave all of it alone, and you change your conception of this yourself, and then the world will conform. I can't wait to possibly be invited to a wedding. I hope that I am. But you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you to my client. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. Remember, if you guys want a session with me, get down in the description box below. Sessions are available. I have gotten everybody's emails already up, so I'm caught up in order. So I'm already caught up and ready to take on the next clients. So once again, you guys, thank you so much. I really hope that this inspired you, because it inspired me. It put the faith back in, like, me thinking like, man, like, you can change anything in an instant when you change yourself, you guys. It works. The law works. It cannot fail. All right. So you guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much. And once again, imagination is always on your side, and I am too. Bye.